Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special guest all the way from Russia, Dr. Olga Goldina, right? Not Silverdina, but Goldina, right?
Right.
All right. Well, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you
And
for having me here.
I love your accent. And I just want to start right off the top that it's such a great accent, and so I can't wait to hear how you're going to sound. But welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
What would you like to know?
Well, you're from Russia. You grew up there, right? When did you come to the U.S.?
22 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I'm Russian medical doctor. I had a practice for 10 years
Uh-huh.
as a medical doctor, as a physician. And I realized that conventional medicine cannot help in all ways to the very serious health problems.
Yeah.
So I was guided to take steps toward, they call it alternative medicine.
Alternative, yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, and that was reflexology, acupuncture, Chinese medicine,
Wow.
which I found when you blend Eastern and Western, they say it, or that is energy medicine.
Uh-huh.
So conventional medicine perceive a human body as a chemical kind of like station, factory,
Yeah.
because we, in common sense, if we measure a temperature high, somebody has a fever, we use aspirin. Some smart people, they use ice. Which
Ice.
is ice.
Really?
Yes, on the head or on the bottom of your head.
Oh,
where
in
is
Russia,
the
of course, you got a lot of ice there. Right?
Exactly. But it does help. So
Yeah.
when I study acupuncture, and I've learned that our energy, which we'll talk a little bit later, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not running in our body as a chaotic kind of like field.
Uh-huh.
It runs by a meridian, by highway, by a strict
Uh-huh.
path. And you have to redirect the energy in our body needs to be used wisely. If in some organs there is a more energy, that means other organs lacking. So the acupuncture, or many years ago, they were using the term balancing or harmonizing.
Yes.
So was my passion, to find out a human being as a matter of energy and what is energy is. When people have enough energy, they live longer, because young children have so much energy, and
Yeah.
if you want to live longer, you do have to learn how to put right energy in you, useful energy, and how to spend it.
How to spend it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's all very important. How
I
we
could
spend
imagine,
our energy, because we are trying as adults. We are trying to make money, but it's important to do not spend more than we make.
Right. Of course.
So I'd like to ask you, what do you know? What energy means to you, the energy of your own physical body?
Well, no, I agree with everything you just said. I know that you mentioned the meridians, for instance. There's a lot of different ways to work with the meridian. I know shiatsu massage, for instance, is
That's
one
right.
way, and there's all kinds of ways of balancing. And but it's interesting. You're talking about the spending of the energy, which is really important. I want to get more into that, but let's first of all, because there's so much talk about Russia right now with our president and all of this. But from a Russian's perspective, how is medicine different in Russia than it is here in the United States? Are there a lot of differences?
Am I going to be arrested if I don't say the truth?
No, you're in the U.S. now, so I think you'd be, well, I don't, who knows, right?
All right. Well, first of all, when I came here, I was shocked that this system, well, it was 20 years ago, they were denying the effect on health or effectiveness in the addition to the treatment, let's say, simple UV light, ultraviolet light.
Yes.
Because, like, in my practice, we've been required to do not use antibiotics or any chemicals, pharmaceutical drugs or nutraceutical, herbal medicine, until we utilize physical energy, which is could be, let's say, children have cold, and viruses enter it through the nose or mouth.
Right.
And if you catch it in early stage and you put just ultraviolet light, those viruses would not survive.
Right.
And when I came here 20 years ago and my children were young and I was requested from pediatrician in Utah, they never heard about it. So to me it was shocking because that is very safe.
It's one of the basics, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, the difference was that American system didn't utilize a lot of safe way of supporting healing mechanism. And our medicine.
Can I just ask you something else? Because, so UV light in treating these things is sort of a standard in Russia.
Yes.
Now,
Well, I mean, a lot of bioenergy devices.
And how about vodka? No, I'm I had to throw that in, sorry. but
raising the temperature. Yes.
But they do talk a lot about vodka in Russia, right? And there is probably because it is pretty widespread, right, in Russia.
Well, I'm not going in that subject.
You want to stay off that? Okay.
That is very politically incorrect.
But that's interesting because I'll bet you right now, hardly anybody knows to use UV for treatment. I mean, they just don't.
Start using it for the swimming pools.
Yes.
To kill the germs.
Uh-huh.
I would be very, very happy to see that every swimming pool in Las Vegas will run off ultraviolet light instead of chlorine. I
Yes.
feel really, really sad when children put in the swimming pool here with chlorine, and chlorine kills or destroys enzymes. We are not talking about digestive enzymes, we are talking about cellular enzymes that repair.
Uh-huh.
And to repair your body, to rejuvenate your body, this is the main, it's a game, life game. If you do not rejuvenate, if you don't repair, every day your cells, which is the units of our physical body, they bombard it with a lot of harmful substances. And so it's like your car tear and wear, and you need to replace parts.
Sure, we wear out all the time and we need to
Yes.
be renewed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's interesting that when we are in chlorine and no one is thinking, they're thinking about eliminating germs, but they're not thinking about damage on a cellular level done through. I remove
Right.
chlorine from my entire house. Like if I'm taking a lone bath, I know there is no even small percentage of the chlorine. So saying that, how it's different from Russia or the rest of the world, there is a more focus on preventive. There is more focus on educating.
A holistic approach. right?
Yes, when people come to Russian doctor or we are trying to educate, empower the patient. Here it's very interesting that people don't require to see the test, the result of the test, only doctor. You do have to empower people for self-healing, for knowledge. And it's different right now because it's available through internet, a lot of information, how to take better care of yourself, and there is a movement of healthy people, yoga came from Western, more people preventing. So back to the energy, I would like to ask you a question and challenge.
Oh, you want to be the host here, huh? Okay.
Okay. So where do you get your energy to sustain through the day?
Well, I think I get it from people I'm around, for the most part. I get charged up by being around the right people, and you sort of, I feel like I'm drawn to certain people, and I have a lot of those right people in my life that I'm around on a day in and day out basis. I think for people and things, and obviously go walk on the beach, you can get energized. There's a lot of that's from grounding, right? From being walking barefoot.
If you are charging from people,
Uh-huh.
you are not charging your physical body. You are not putting any chemical substance in your body,
That's right.
You are charging emotional and mental,
Yes.
probably, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do you charge your physical body on chemical level?
Well, you're the doc, and I want to know how that happens. But I would think that your body has the power to do a lot of those things itself. And so, if you're charging your mental and your emotional, that your physical can balance itself maybe and fall in line. Is that true?
Well, as a physical body considered to be a chemical station, a chemical factory that runs constantly on a chemical reactions, like you put water or oxygen. So first of all, we need to get to the unit of a physical body, and the unit of physical body is a cell.
Yes.
So everything, I'm fascinated by the concept, how to rejuvenate or view us on a cellular level. Because our energy for the physical body, what sustain entire our being, human being or life, it's ATP, and it's produced in mitochondria.
Yes.
Can you repeat it, please?
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria.
Yep.
Okay.
You said it exactly right.
Oh, well, I just want everyone to exactly understand, because they
Actually,
are
you speak
saying,
perfect English, so
well, but
a little
people,
wonderful accent, but
a
it's
lot
perfect.
of people do not know what is mitochondria. Many years ago, a lot of funds went to decode or find out what's DNA and how we can manipulate, genetics and work with DNA. Right now, good news that they are looking into mitochondria genesis, which is when cell getting older and make an older daughter or child cell, the amount of mitochondria is reduced. So it doesn't matter how you are trying to, make a lot of coffee and what is mitochondria? Mitochondria is producing ATP, and without people, when I'm asking where you get energy, they are a lot of them answering from food, because this, whole food, raw food, power food, it's, very popular, and that's makes sense. Because raw food has energy from sun, cooked food already has less energy, and that makes sense. But without food, the human body could live with up to 45 days. No one died.
Right.
If you drink water. Without water, you will get sick or die within 3-5 days.
I just came off a 14-day fast.
Water
only.
Exactly. Then the food is not the prime source of your energy.
That's right.
But since we are talking about that without water we can sustain our life force only for a few days, water is the second source of our energy.
Right.
How long you can live without oxygen?
Yeah, not
Few
very
minutes.
That's
Few
right.
minutes. So oxygen is higher on the pyramid
It's-
or priority.
It's the hierarchy of needs, right?
That's
Yep.
right. But we still can live without oxygen few minutes. Without ATP production, you cannot even live without few seconds or just 1 minute. So the energy we need to focus of how to keep production of energy on a cellular level, looking at the mitochondria. And
Interesting.
right now, yes, it's if you go and Google it, it's a lot of studies and a lot of funds right now funding those how to rejuvenate mitochondria.
Okay.
And I know I use it like for 5 years. PQQ, it's a supplement, it's nutraceutical. You can buy it right. It used to be you can buy it just in few places online, but right now, health food store can provide. And PQQ is supporting the production of ATP is in existing mitochondria. Like if you have 100 in a cell, they will give the food for those hundreds. But it's on a long term, if you are using it longer, that will help to make more babies of mitochondria. So
Wow.
yeah, you rejuvenate this way.
So if somebody wants to buy this at a health food store, tell us again what it's called?
P is Papa,
Uh-huh.
Q is Queen, Q is Queen. PQQ.
PQQ.
Yeah, it stands for very long
Uh-huh.
chemical.
So they would know that at almost any health food store. They know what that is.
I don't know.
Or maybe we should
if-
Google it first, right? And
Yes,
find out.
yes.
Yeah.
But they pair it with CoQ10. So we can go on and on other supplements
Uh-huh.
for unique supplements or recently researched. Let's
Uh-huh.
put it this way.
Sure.
But for the audience, I would encourage them to learn how cell structure and how to maintain. So also another interesting that not very commonly known subject on energy production is the membrane of your cell. Membrane of our cells, human cells,
Mhm.
or any cells, it's charged. It has a polarity. So when we get dehydrated or lack of minerals, the polarity changes, and whatever we put in our body, the cell, especially if it's we are in pain, emotional pain and stress, the membrane uses it's like a gate. It's like a gated house.
Mhm.
You cannot get inside. So that is very important because you are trying to bring nutrients, and the nutrients, they have to penetrate to the cell, as you understand it, because all chemical reactions and everything happening inside the cell.
Yeah.
Pain causes to block that gate, so nutrients cannot get in and toxins cannot get out. Another very important moment I would like to highlight is detoxification. If you want to get live longer and have a pure energy, I call it vital energy,
Yeah.
vitality. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for my consulting company, I use the logo "Vital Energy for Useful Living."
Yeah.
This is
Very descriptive. Yeah.
so.
If you're not detox, I mean, we're all full of toxins, right? All the.
It's not like we are full of toxins. We are receiving them every day.
Right.
And the toxins, there is a chemical toxins, emotional toxins, and electromagnetic.
Mhm.
Like I mean, from even light, not natural light. We are not in news, but the nature is kind of like becoming a very luxury for us,
Yeah.
right?
So when we say we want to detox, for instance,
Mhm.
I would assume there's many ways we need to sort of hit our bodies from a lot of different angles and
That's
detox in
correct.
various ways, right?
That's
Not just one
correct.
way.
That's correct.
Because we can go to the health food store and buy something that says detox on it, right?
Well, but you have to understand what are you detoxing with that. Are you
Exactly.
detoxing colon? Are you detoxing kidney? Are you detoxing blood?
Yes.
Are you detoxing lymph? Because they all have a different structure and they all need different
And
substances.
detox means just sort of cleaning out, right? In layman's terms, it means
Exactly.
getting rid of the bad.
Exactly. It's
yeah.
like cleaning your house.
Yeah, right.
Vacuuming.
So I want to detox my house when I get home. Yeah. So where would you start, though? What's the first thing that somebody that's watching us right now and they say, "Oh, I love Dr. Olga and what she's saying," and what's one of the first things that someone should do?
Educate yourself.
Okay.
Empower yourself. Go to the centers that empower. Like I've learned recently about your center, and it's fascinating because you do these meetings every day where you educate people on different options how to remain young. And education is everything.
So you're telling me then, because most of us in this country, maybe Russia's different, but most of us, well, we wait till we're sick, we go to our doctor is God to us. We listen to everything he says, and that's what we do. And he's giving us medicine which may or may not be good for us. Maybe it's masking things, maybe it's covering them up. But we listen to him, and that's what we do. But you're saying that that's not what we should do.
Well, a lot of doctors right now, it's a good news that in America, picking up field like functional medicine, integrative medicine, there is right now, to my joy, is a lifestyle medicine, which I am good in. Change your lifestyle, or it's no one thing will work. You have to be on some program. Lifestyle, it means everything, integration of.
So we want to exercise, we want to make sure we're eating fruits and vegetables. And
You know why we exercise? Because muscles is the most abundant in mitochondria. So when you move your muscles, even your fingers, you are making muscles work, and you're making your ATP, you are pumping up your gas tank with ATP. So running is running or any exercise. People, right now very inventive. There are I've seen I can resist to say technology, but treadmill where is a desk or computer desk, people walking and typing.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they stop running, then it doesn't work, right? Keeps it working, yeah.
Yeah. So everything goes. Everything needs to be in the program.
But all right, so let's say that we've gotten ourselves fairly educated. I mean, obviously you're a doctor, you went to medical school and have had, lots of years of practicing medicine, and you know way more than the average person. Most of us are not going to be that knowledgeable as you are. But let's say we've gotten a little bit of knowledge. Then what would be next? What would be the next thing?
Discipline.
Okay.
Your why, your motivation, why you are going. Because a lot of people say, "Hey, we all die." It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Some people would like to stay healthy. Some people challenge themselves to prevent disease, disasters. Some people see it. They don't see the economics or help me with the word, the finances behind. Like, it's easy. They would say, okay, I'm not buying organic. I'll buy conventional because it's 50 cents
cheaper.
less.
Yes.
Yes.
They don't see the wisdom in doing the right thing.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Yesterday I was with some people, and actually with a doctor and some other people, and one of the other people had just bought a Lamborghini for more than almost $250,000. He was telling us about it, and somehow the conversation got into people will spend a fortune on automobiles, for instance, and how much money will he spend on upkeep on that? And yet, most of us will not spend hardly anything on our own upkeep. And this body is what keeps us going, right?
Exactly.
But we'll spend more on our cars than we
This
will
is exactly why I said you are asking where next, and I said mindset.
Yeah.
If someone has a mindset way far from understanding that physical body is where, giving us, and we have to uptake it, and this is, he wouldn't need a car if he would be sick.
Yeah.
But as a joke, I was at some stand-up comedian club, and the joke that I cracked me up. It was, hey girls, if you would like to pick up a rich boyfriend or rich husband, don't look what he's driving. Go shopping with him.
Yeah, right.
And see where he's shopping. If he's shopping at Whole Foods store,
That's right.
or he's shopping at.
So let's say that I got a little bit educated. My mindset is right where it wants to be. I know that prevention is important, you know, because I want to do the best with my body that I can. Then what would be next?
Next would be monitoring your state.
Okay.
Yeah, you would
So
like
testing and things like
testing,
that.
yes,
Find
you
out
would-
where to go. What
Yeah,
needs.
people have right now a lot of gadgets on the wrist.
The
you
Apple
do
Watch
have-
has the same thing, right? It tells me
Yeah,
all kinds
you,
of.
You do.
Absolutely. See, I can tell you
Okay.
how much I exercise today, and yeah.
Okay, so you are.
And this controls me. Do you know that? Before I go to bed, I want to look at my thing and see if if I haven't, I'm going to go hit the treadmill.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's amazing,
Awesome.
good.
So you know it.
of course I do.
Okay, so monitoring if you didn't reach the goal. Another very important things that a lot of people in America overweight.
Yes, most people probably. Huh?
Most people, well, depends on like in California where I live currently, it's the beach, require.
Requires you to look good. Yeah.
So, why people overweight? Why do you think so?
I think people, maybe they have lack of knowledge, because that's one of the first things you said. They don't have the mindset, and I think people get lazy, and they because of that lack of knowledge, they don't. Maybe a lot of people don't realize
What about pleasure of eating? What about
It's a-
sensation?
it's a very pleasurable thing.
Yes. And
I mean, that's interesting on this fast. I did 14 days now with just water,
mhm.
and it was really interesting because when I started to come off, I took I can't even remember what it was, but it was just a tiny little bit of a supplement on the last day, and put it in my mouth, just a little bit, and just tasting those flavors, because I hadn't been doing it for 14 days, and just tasting that was really pleasurable.
I remember when I was getting out of my 2 weeks fast and I was eating cucumber.
Yeah.
And it tastes so delicious, and it was not even organic cucumber or
Yeah.
whatever I could get in the desert. So
But on the other hand,
it's-
if you take a big old juicy hamburger patty, it probably would taste bad, right? I didn't do that, but it may not taste good.
body would resist it
Yeah.
because we do have intelligence and intuition.
Yeah.
So why people what the most danger of overweight, because fat cells, they magnet for the toxins. So when people overweight or have a little bit even extra fat, this is the toxins. So when you detoxify, or we are talking about detoxifying, going on a fast, this is what only real thing that body uses as a fuel. It uses the fat. So fast is also detox. It's the best detox.
The best one. Okay.
Yes, and it's also during the fast your body seeking, because there is no nutrients, and to run healthy cells, body seeks for the protein,
Uh-huh.
seeks for the building parts
Right.
for the new cells to come, and it dissolves or disassemble the old cells. So it's one of the best rejuvenating or reverse aging on cellular level techniques you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
And right now there is another attention of a scientist. It's reverse aging on cellular level, removing old cells. So it calls
The old cells.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
you
The
have
ones
to.
that are dying off. Uh-huh.
They are not dying off. They are just sitting there, And let's say if a company has needed 10 people to run productive company,
Uh-huh.
and two of them young guys who are smart and they are running fast, and 8 of them overweight elderly people who don't even hardly know and understand a computer or software or something, and they're slowing down the production.
Right.
So replacing, don't hate me for that, but replacing with a highly effective employees or cells, and we can rejuvenate existing cells, or we should get rid of those cells because the counts, if that organ says, okay, I have enough cells, it's not rejuvenating enough. So the fast is one of the most natural, effective way of staying younger.
Yeah. It's the weakest link, Prince. It gets rid of those weak links. Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, so let's say we've done all of that. We've fasted, and then what would be next?
Keep fasting at least one day a
Now,
month.
we can't do it more than 40 days, right? 45
Yes.
days is sort of the limit. But
There is a talks right now on internet, intermediate fast or overconsumption of food is not even healthy food. I'm guilty myself. I eat a lot of healthy food, but you need a little. You need to know what your body needs and do not put more.
how about, you're obviously a great lifestyle coach, doctoring people in lifestyle, and a lot of people in this country love happy hour time. So they go sit and visit with their friends. They have a couple of cocktails or beers or wine or whatever it is they're having. Is alcohol, there's an old, you hear that saying about a glass of red wine is good for your heart. And some people think that you have one glass, maybe 4 or 5 are better. But is alcohol good for you, or is it not good?
Everybody's different. Some people can tolerate caffeine,
Mhm.
some people not. And there is a company, 23andMe, and they are
Yes.
doing a test how different people handle different amount of caffeine or some. The same goes with alcohol, I'm assuming. I
Yeah.
don't drink alcohol. Luckily, it's not like I am too good for that.
Right.
But whenever I drink alcohol, I get tired. If I drink a little bit, like couple sips of wine, I will become sleepy. So why people, what is interesting? I've read some historical book, and they say in old time, because was no source of water, when travelers travel, they cannot find the clean water very easy, so they
Right.
carry with themselves wine.
Yes.
So drinking wine was safer than
Safer, yeah.
drinking water from unknown sources. And also wine is a fermented drink.
Yes.
So I would not say wine is bad, because when people eat meat and a lot of meat or a lot of protein, animal protein, they need fermented food, and I know in Asia they eat a lot of fermented food, like kimchi, or
Yes.
in Germany they eat with their sausages,
I was
sauerkraut.
just in Korea recently, and
Yes, and in Europe it seems like, or in America, it's a substitute for wine because it's something fermented. Few glass of wine with a heavy, consumption of protein, probably good.
yeah.
It's better if they will drink kombucha, but it takes a while to change a society, cultural establishment. So about alcohol, many years ago, back in Novosibirsk, where I'm from, there is a institute. It calls experimental medicine, and I took a couple classes there, and one course included one day of studying different effect of different alcohol. And I don't remember how they did a test. So everyone, how people have preference, what do you drink? Some people drink hard liquor, some
Uh-huh.
wine, some beer.
A lot of
and-
people in this country do drink beer, right? Which is they have those big bellies. You know.
Well, if you drink a lot,
Well, they
yeah,
do.
it's all in
think people do.
moderation. Yes,
Yeah.
but I've learned that cognac,
Uh-huh.
it's aged in oak if it's good cognac,
Uh-huh.
like couple ounces of cognac, not straight but diluted. It improves immune system.
Well,
So I would not say alcohol is like again in moderation, and everyone needs to know their own body metabolism. So if somebody wants a glass of wine, you have to have this protein or use it wisely.
well, you brought up something interesting there. I think that's fascinating for probably most of us. Your metabolism. Can you change your metabolism, and if so, how do you do that?
It's not about changing metabolism. It's knowing your metabolism, because it's something like in Ayurveda they are saying you are born with certain type of dosha or constitution.
Oh.
So it's hard to change that. They say it's easy right now to change genetics, epigenetics, environmental. It's a lot of, you've heard about it, epigenetics, right?
Right.
So it's like if even somebody was born, like I was at the Biohacker Summit in Stockholm, and the founder who started it, very fascinating young man from Finland. He was his story why he started the Biohacking Summit, and why he's bringing all researchers, and kind of like even not always, it's not even always making him money, but he enjoying it because he brings the brightest, most intelligent, advanced people and
Uh-huh.
technologies.
Sure.
And his story, if I understood right, he knows his genetics, and genetics is very like he was determined to be very sick, and he said I was sick when I was 21 because of genetics.
Oh.
Yes, leaking gut, something else like
Wow.
he didn't digest properly gluten. So when he found out all this, he put together all dots, which is in Europe faster probably. And right now he says that at age 38 he's healthier than he was at 21, because his epigenetics, which is he's bringing right, he's putting his body in a right environment, which is like inside and out.
Uh-huh.
He's using in his nose, I have it to intranasal laser light, which is stimulate your blood. And the
In
blood,
his nose.
yes, through the
Uh-huh.
nose, because nose is very rich in blood vessels.
Right.
And so basically at that biohackers, and biohacking, it's another, like you are saying, where American will get information. Google biohacking. Biohacking is understanding your body and optimizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So what else I learned, and what fascinating from that biohacking summit, it's interesting, and I would like our listeners to take into consideration also. The society, modern society, modern lifestyle demand on us high performance. In the morning we wake up, we don't have this, not all of us have this privilege on being like going to yoga or taking it slow. It's a dream. That lifestyle is a dream. But a lot of people just need to go and run right away. So for high performance, we are using stimulants or something. By the end of the day, a lot of people right now are on adrenal crash, like adrenal exhausted, high
Right.
cortisol, in the state of sympathetic. We are not talking about the stress. This is like very well covered subject. Where I'm going with this, what interesting, what striking kind of like evidence that we want to be high performance, but rejuvenation and repairing happening during relaxation and rest.
So that's why sleeping is
Exactly.
very
Sleeping
important.
is very important, and meditation is very
So
important.
let me ask you something about that, because I know there are a lot of different theories and different practices that people come up with in regards to resting and sleeping. Some, you spread it out throughout the day. Little naps are really important. I've heard it said that every hour before midnight that you sleep is worth 2 hours after midnight.
That's right.
Those kinds of things. Some people, I was reading about one practice where you spread out and you sleep what you would normally sleep in one day, you sleep in 2 days, and you eat what you would eat in one day in 2 days. These are all people trying to extend their life, right? So there's all kinds of things going on.
Well, I
Experimenting.
wouldn't give up my sleep. I would give up my food, but not my sleep.
Yeah, I know. But then there's some of us that sleep very little. I know sometimes I'll sleep 4 hours maybe 5 hours, and I'm energized. I'm ready to go, and I just don't need to.
Yes, if you didn't have enough toxins, like I've learned again from some historical books that in England, in old England,
Mhm.
it was tradition that women who would like to keep their skin glowing, and they had a tradition or routine to do enema before going to sleep, to remove anything from their colon.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So with chamomile,
Every night.
well, that was what it says, the historical book. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well,
But
a lot of
it
people have
makes-
chamomile tea before.
Yes,
yeah.
chamomile tea is balancing and
Uh-huh.
calming too. But if what are you saying? Sometimes you sleep 5 hours and you're energized.
Yes.
It's also probably not because of your physical body, because you are excited. Like I've been recently in a very exciting project I was putting together Biogenesis conference, and that was my dream. Like I brought together interesting speakers, interesting exhibitors, the technology. I hardly could sleep. I usually need 8 hours of sleep. That calls mental or excitement or motivation. That is fuel. It's also energy.
Yeah.
It's a great substitute for physical energy, for the food. Or
Wow.
also when you sleep in a very well ventilated room,
Uh-huh.
in a cold room, because oxygen. What's happening with the brain? Why we sleep? Brain needs to restart, to recharge. So if you go, and during the day our brain works on alpha or beta waves.
Right.
You understand? It's fast,
Yes.
fast frequency, like up to 14 hertz.
Right.
During the night we have to go
The delta
between
one.
between 0 to 4 hertz, and depending how fast you transition, because a lot of people they lay with half asleep and they're still in alpha.
Yeah.
So brain needs certain amount of hours in a deep sleep, and taking some valerian root before, or helping brain to dive in that deep
Yeah.
sleep, it helps. So it's not amount of hours what we sleep, it's amount of sleep in this delta state.
Yeah. It's
And-
fascinating. Yeah.
And also if it's enough oxygen in the room, comfortable.
Well, things like melatonin, things like that.
Yes,
that helps?
absolutely.
Mhm.
I'm taking a tartar cherry
Uh-huh.
because melatonin is still kind of like synthetic. I'm always seeking something from the nature. So tartar cherry is also precursor.
Tartar Cherry, don't forget, go to your health food store.
It's $7 a bottle of 90 pills. You can do like.
Well, Dr. Hogan, we ran out of time. I don't know where this hour went. We could talk about this for hours, so we're going to have you come back and talk about some more subjects. Fascinating. This is just
Maybe I'll be more prepared.
No. This
You
is
got
great.
me just from the street.
Great information, and it's so great to know you. Thanks for being on the show. And
Thank you.
we'll see you next time, same station. Bye-bye, everybody.